What if reality isn't what it seems? What if everything you see, hear, and feel is just a version created by your mind? This isn't about fantasy. It's a concept grounded in science, philosophy, and everyday experiences. The reality you perceive might not be as solid as you think. It all begins with your senses. They capture fragments of the world around you, light, sounds, textures, and send these raw pieces of data to your brain. But this data is incomplete. Here's where your brain steps in. It takes past memories, learned patterns, and even future expectations to fill in the gaps, creating what you experience as reality. What's most surprising is that this reality isn't universal. It's personal. Your beliefs, values, and life experiences shape how the world appears to you. This explains why two people can witness the same event, but interpret it in completely different ways. Reality, then, isn't fixed. It's subjective, a reflection of what's inside you. Today, we're diving deep into this idea. We'll explore how science explains the brain's role in shaping reality, how philosophy challenges our understanding of truth, and how this knowledge can transform the way we see the world. Get ready. What you believe to be real might just be an illusion. Your brain is more than just a receiver of information. It's a creator of worlds. Everything you see, hear, and feel is not just passively received, but actively constructed by your brain. Light, sound, touch, all these sensations arrive as incomplete data. It's your brain that turns these fragments into the coherent world you perceive. Imagine your brain as a master editor. It takes raw, disconnected clips, like flashes of light or faint sounds, and weaves them into a narrative. But this narrative isn't an exact replica of reality. It's an interpretation shaped by your memories, experiences, and expectations. For example, when you recognize a familiar face in a crowd, your brain isn't just processing the image in real time. It's also pulling from a database of past interactions, piecing together the details to make recognition instant. This shortcut saves energy but also highlights how much of what we perceive is built on assumptions. Sometimes this process leads to errors. Optical illusions are a perfect example. They trick your brain into misinterpreting visual information. These moments reveal a fundamental truth. What you perceive isn't always what's out there. Your reality is a product of your mind's best guess. But this construction isn't just a limitation. It's also a strength. Your brain's ability to fill in gaps allows you to navigate a complex world, make decisions, and connect with others. However, it also raises profound questions. If reality is a model built by the brain, how much of it can we truly trust? This idea, though unsettling, also opens the door to self-awareness. By understanding how our perceptions are constructed, we can begin to question them and reshape the way we experience the world. After all, if reality is a creation of the mind, then understanding the creator, the brain, might just be the key to seeing things differently. The idea that reality is a construction isn't just scientific, it's deeply philosophical. Nihilism challenges us to consider the possibility that the world has no intrinsic meaning. If what we perceive is shaped by our brains, then the meaning we assign to life might also be an invention. Nietzsche, one of nihilism's central figures, once said, "There are no facts, only interpretations." This statement encapsulates an uncomfortable truth. What we call reality is filtered through our beliefs and perspectives. These interpretations aren't random. They're shaped by our culture, upbringing, and personal experiences. Consider this example. Two people watch the same sunset. One person sees beauty and hope, marveling at the vibrant colors. The other, feeling weighed down by sadness, perceives only the approaching darkness. The event itself, the setting sun, is the same, but its meaning differs entirely. Reality, then, is not objective but subjective, shaped by the mind of the observer. For nihilists, this subjectivity reveals something profound. If the universe has no inherent meaning, then it's up to us to create our own. While this can feel overwhelming, it's also liberating. We are free to redefine what matters and build a sense of purpose that resonates with our values and aspirations. This interplay between science and philosophy is fascinating. Science shows us how the brain constructs reality, while philosophy asks, what do we do with this knowledge? If reality is malleable, we can shape it to reflect who we are and what we care about, or we can be consumed by its uncertainties. Nihilism doesn't offer easy answers, but it encourages deep reflection. If the world doesn't come with a pre-packaged meaning, we have the extraordinary power and responsibility to create one. The question is, what will you make of your reality? If your brain constructs reality, it doesn't do so neutrally. Your expectations, beliefs, and values shape what you perceive. It's as if you're wearing a pair of glasses, and the lenses are made from your past experiences and assumptions. These lenses influence everything you see and how you interpret the world. If your brain constructs reality, it doesn't do so neutrally. Your expectations, beliefs, and values shape what you perceive. It's as if you're wearing a pair of glasses, and the lenses are made from your past experiences and assumptions. These lenses influence everything you see and how you interpret the world. This phenomenon is called confirmation bias. It happens when we seek out information that aligns with what we already believe and dismiss anything that contradicts it. Imagine two people watching the same debate. One might leave convinced their side won, while the other feels the exact opposite. The event didn't change, but their perceptions were filtered through their pre-existing beliefs. This bias is everywhere in our lives. Think about a time when you believed someone didn't like you. Every neutral gesture, a glance, a tone of voice, felt like confirmation of your suspicion. But was it? Or were you simply interpreting their actions through the lens of your expectations? This highlights how much our perceptions can be distorted by what we think we know. Our cultural and social backgrounds also play a significant role in shaping our expectations. What feels moral, beautiful, or meaningful to one person might seem entirely different to someone else. These differences reveal how much of our reality is tied to the context we grow up in. Two people can experience the same moment but walk away with completely different interpretations, shaped by their unique lenses. This raises a challenging question. How much of what we perceive is truly real, and how much is shaped by our minds? Recognizing this can feel destabilizing, but it's also empowering. By becoming aware of our biases, we can start questioning them. What if you step back and asked, am I seeing what's really there or just what I expect to see? When we do this, we open ourselves up to new possibilities. We can challenge the beliefs that limit us and explore perspectives we might never have considered. This process isn't easy, but it can transform the way we understand ourselves and the world. Ultimately, the question isn't just about what's real. It's about what we choose to see. And in that choice lies the power to reshape our reality. Your brain is a master at finding patterns. It's constantly scanning the world, trying to make sense of chaos by connecting the dots. This ability has been essential for human survival, helping us recognize faces, predict dangers, and navigate complex environments. But this search for meaning doesn't stop at practical needs. It also shapes how we perceive everything around us. Take a simple example, looking at clouds and seeing animals, faces, or objects. This phenomenon, called pareidolia, is your brain trying to make the unfamiliar familiar. When information is vague or incomplete, your mind fills in the gaps, turning random shapes into something recognizable. This tendency goes deeper than cloud watching. It's the foundation of myths, religions, and cultural narratives. Thousands of years ago, when people gazed at the stars, they didn't see random points of light. They saw constellations, stories, and explanations for the mysteries of the universe. Even today, we instinctively seek meaning in coincidences and connections, whether they're real or imagined. But this powerful skill can also mislead us. Sometimes we find patterns where none exist. We might interpret random events as signs or create narratives that fit our desires rather than reality. This is the double-edged sword of our pattern-seeking brains. At the same time, this tendency to search for meaning is what makes us human. We don't just experience the world passively, we actively construct it. Our brains take fragmented inputs and turn them into stories that help us understand our place in the universe. The key question is, are we seeing the world as it is, or as we need it to be? The search for patterns reveals not just the structure of the world, but also the desires, fears, and hopes within us. In the end, this ability to find meaning, both real and imagined, is what connects us to the world and to each other. It's a strength, but one that requires awareness. Because sometimes the patterns we see are not in the world at all. They're within us. If the reality you perceive is a construction, it means you have the power to shape it. While your brain works automatically to interpret the world, awareness gives you a unique tool, the ability to question. By challenging your perceptions, you can change how you experience reality. The first step is recognizing your biases. Once you understand that your beliefs and expectations influence what you see, you can start asking, is this really happening? Or is it just how I'm interpreting it? This small but powerful shift can open your mind to entirely new ways of seeing the world. Another way to reshape your perception is by training your mind to focus on positive and empowering experiences. Research shows that practices like mindfulness and gratitude can rewire your brain, creating new pathways that highlight the good in life. Over time, this focus can change the way you perceive the world around you. Expanding your perspective is equally important. By exposing yourself to new ideas, cultures, and ways of thinking, you can challenge deeply ingrained beliefs. This not only broadens your understanding, but also enriches your perception of reality, making it more inclusive and less limited. The power to rewrite reality lies in accepting that you are not bound by the narratives you've inherited or created. You can choose to let go of ideas that no longer serve you and replace them with ones that reflect who you want to be. This process isn't easy, but it's transformative. Reality may be a construction, but it doesn't have to be rigid. By taking control of how you perceive and interpret the world, you can craft a life that feels meaningful, fulfilling, and true to you. In a way, it's not just about seeing the world differently. It's about creating a world that inspires you. What does it mean to live in a universe without intrinsic meaning? For many, the idea feels unsettling. A vast cosmos that doesn't care about our existence. But this realization also offers a profound gift, the freedom to create our own meaning. If the world doesn't impose purpose on us, then the choice becomes ours. Nihilism reminds us that the universe is indifferent. It doesn't prescribe a direction or a purpose. While this might feel like a void, it also liberates us from the constraints of destiny or preordained truths. In this freedom lies an opportunity to decide what matters most to us. Think of life as a blank canvas. Without a predefined design, every action, thought, or relationship becomes a brushstroke. Some paint with vibrant colors, others with darker tones. But in the end, the masterpiece is uniquely yours. In creating meaning, you resist the void and assert your humanity. This doesn't mean life is without value. On the contrary, the meaning we create carries incredible weight because it comes from us. It doesn't need cosmic approval. It only needs to resonate with who we are. So the ultimate question isn't, what is the meaning of life? But rather, what meaning will I create? In a universe that provides no answers, we have the power to shape a life worth living. This act of creation is, perhaps, the most human thing we can do. The reality you perceive isn't fixed or absolute. It's a construction shaped by your brain, beliefs, and experiences. Throughout this journey, we've uncovered how science explains this process, how philosophy questions it, and how understanding it can transform the way you see the world. If reality is a canvas painted by the mind, then you have the freedom to choose what you'll create. By questioning your perceptions, recognizing your biases, and embracing new perspectives, you can live with greater awareness. This journey of self-discovery doesn't just change how you see the world, it changes how you live within it. Now it's your turn. What will you do with this perspective? How will you shape your reality into something meaningful, empowering, and uniquely yours? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your take on the nature of reality. If this video made you think differently, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Together, we can continue exploring the mysteries of science, philosophy, and existence. Reality might be an illusion, but the search to understand it is what makes us human.